Now, some people might say that finally Meghan Markle's been cashed in herself. That's right, cashed in. Seemingly because, well, this time around, she's not exactly in the level playing field. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join me today. And thank you as ever for supporting all the recent videos that I make for you, exclusively for you. And yeah, your comments about the BAFTA, very interesting. As I said, I've been there many times before, and there just isn't the level of celebrity. Yeah, I'm not being unkind to those. There's always has to be new people. I get that, but they don't have the same impact, do they? And literally, when an influencer, a person who's literally just risen up through Instagram, comes along and takes it away from the talented people, nothing wrong with that. There's always been opportunistic celebrities in this world, but it does seem odd that the media focused on her rather than many of the talented actors and actresses that got, well, virtually scant attention. Do you know what I mean? But it's just a strange situation. I think the BAFTAs needs an overhaul. It really does, actually. Well, I think they all do. I think we're all a bit fed up of celebrities, aren't we? And award shows and red carpets you've never heard of. I love that thing, girls, by the way. Get that look. You think, right, you could wear that going to the supermarket. Have you seen the nails on that actress? Yes, she could work the till from like 4 paces away, couldn't she? Who can work with nails like this? Is it me? It's just ridiculous. Don't get me going. Anyway, let's get back to your royal story of the day. This apparently was a big shock. Not to all of us that knew, of course, because behind the scenes things were crumbling. And it's now coming up to, what, a year since this was launched. American Riviera Orchard by Meghan Markle, influencer brand that was going to take the world by storm. One fuzzy video later, and nothing but a few pots of jams to her friends, and absolutely nothing to show. But things are now moving forward, and the reason being is quite simply this. As many now know, her jams will be no, not in Harrods, Fortnum's, or somewhere delicious like that. No, they're going to be in accessible outlets where people who are genuine fans, this is Netflix speaking by the way, who are genuine fans can actually access the lifestyle of Meghan. Well, you'd want to, wouldn't you? Living behind an enclave, never seeing children, never going out anywhere unless, of course, you've tipped off the press. Who wouldn't want a life like that? Let's all run towards that, as she famously said. Now, where it gets really interesting is, as many people have noted, a brand new name. And this is really because the other one's dead. You know, not only is it unusable, it's not really relatable because it's now seen as a flop. That was the meeting behind the scenes at Netflix. But they're very shrewd indeed, because this is a co-production, and whatever you're seeing on the documentation, they will have a slice of Meghan Markle for the next 5 years, should the brand take off, as ever, allegedly. But there you go. And what's interesting here is that clearly they know that Meghan will, no doubt, not necessarily be the biggest success that they planned on. But what they're trying to do is get attention to their move into the retail world. That's the idea. You see, if you get a name like that, and whether it's good or bad, and you put them into your pocket, as it were, well, then people will say, oh, yeah, no, Netflix have got stores, right? And they can build on that brand. On top of all of that, well, they've paid out a lot of money for Meghan and Harry, certainly not the 100 million that is always banded around. The idea really now is that should Meghan's brand take off, they can take residuals from that, literally, you know, royalties, whatever you want to call it. So the deal looks great on paper. It makes her look like an influencer, makes her look like Queen Bee, of course, but the bottom line is, as ever, it's the suits at the top that are going to be pulling the strings. Now, they, of course, can either pull out when they want, and Meghan allegedly can buy back their share of the brand. You see how this works in the world of show business now. It's far easier when you're a member of the British monarchy. All of that's done for you. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.